Hi.
So you're here today in this lovely looking aircraft.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about it and why today happened.
So it's a Legend Cub. It's built after the original Cubs, but it's a little bit wider fuselage. You can open the doors both sides, so it has a few advantages. You can land on very, very short strips, which is exactly why we're here today with only 430 meters of runway. So, and we actually came from a farm strip as well. So, yeah, that's what this aircraft's built for.
How far have you come in today?
It's only a 15-minute flight, so it's a farm strip near Pulborough.
Oh, okay. So,
Yes, wonderful.
and is this the only sort of aircraft you fly?
No, I fly all sorts. I teach PPLs at the moment in Goodwood, so I get to fly lots of different aircraft.
That sounds fun.
Yes, absolutely.
And how often have you been here at Brooklands?
This is my very first time landing here. Very exciting for me to be here.
It was quite an interesting landing, and I think you were the only one that was able to come in on that direction.
That's it. The wind was very variable. We watched the others come in, try both directions, and yeah, just depending on the wind. So I was very lucky. The wind was calm when I landed.
Yes.
And despite that, even coming in from the south, you've still got the lamp post right in the final approach. So I did a bit of side slip to get over that.
Saw some of the other side slips.
That's exactly it. So side slip is an easy way to just make the approach angle steeper.
Well, you've got a beautiful looking aircraft. Tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, it's got a 4-cylinder engine. It's a fairly low-powered aircraft, but that's all you need. But yeah, come have a look at it if you want.
Okay, so tell us a bit about the interior and what you've got there.
This is about as simple as it gets. So you've got the altimeter here, the airspeed. I've got a compass. We do have a GPS built in. Radio and transponder is a mandatory item now to see this so the air traffic can see where you are. And we've got the RPM and the engine gauges. The fuel gauge, I don't know if you can see that from here, is quite simply a tube that shows the amount of fuel that's in each wing.
What's your sort of flight distance that you can do in this?
We can fly about 2 hours at about 90 knots. So it'll, it's not an aircraft to go places. It's more like cycling in the air. It's just wonderful. Just you can fly with the doors open. So on a summer day like now, that's a wonderful thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you fly it every weekend, or?
I don't know. It's every once in a while. This winter's the weather hasn't been very good, so that's been a bit of a challenge. But now the summer's out, we'll try and fly it more and more.
Lovely. Well, thanks very much.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Okay, well, I'll introduce myself. I'm Colin Mitchinson. I'm the lead marshal here at Brooklands for their fly-ins. I'm a volunteer. I've been with the museum for nearly 30 years now. The fly-ins, we are fortunate that we can have 4 a year. Originally, we used to use the grass strip, which is on my right-hand side. That we managed to use for a number of years, but then after the COVID situation, grass strip got slightly chewed up, shall we say, with the damp and the wet, and really could no longer use it. Mercedes were very good to us and allowed us to use our existing part of the runway. Now, we don't have the full length, as you probably can see, because we have Wellington Way going right the way through it. So it does it makes it slightly awkward in the fact we only have like 422 meters that we can use. So on the fly-ins, we have what we call three fixed wings, and one is rotary. The next one, which is due to be held in 29th of August, I believe, around that date, not sure exactly, will be for helicopters. We are limited, as you can see, to the parking area, and in fact we're kind of parking on the bottom end of the runway here. So we normally ask for around about 12 aircraft to come. In that 12, we obviously allow for cancellation. Today we were due to have 10 aircraft, of which unfortunately we've got 7. You get technical problems and all sorts of things like that.
And why Why is it important to keep having these flying?
Well, just coming to that, one of the things is obviously Brooklands has got so much history with regards to flying here and flying events. If you look back at the Vickers Vimy and during the early hours, you know, we had the flyings for the Sopwith Camel were flown here before being delivered to originally what was prior that the Royal Flying Corps and SE5. So a big history here with flying. So it was under the trustees to be able to keep this open, to keep, as it were, air under the wings of aircraft. We're limited to what we can put in here, as you can see. We are unfortunate us losing the grass strip. We can no longer have things like tiger moss with the just have the leather strip at the back, because obviously the hard concrete just chews it up. And also, realistically, aircraft without brakes too, because obviously you can see our width of eye is quite narrow, and it does help from that point of view. We've been favoured with the weather and the wind today. It has changed around, as you've probably seen. We've had to switch runways a couple of times, but we've got, as I say, 2 more flyings, 1 helicopter, then we have 1 in September, which is fixed wing again.
Yeah. Very interesting couple of landings there as the wind changed today.
Yes, I mean, this morning the wind dropped right down, and it was kind of more on a westerly basis, which we were switching from 0-1, just coming in from the south, which is much more favourable for the pilots to land, as against 1-9, because obviously we got the trees, and it's kind of set as an offset approach, realistically.